KPCC's podcasts are supported by Harvey Mudd College, where engineering, science, and mathematics are informed by the liberal arts. Students and faculty working together to solve problems and serve society. Online at hmc.edu.
This is 89.3 KPCC. I'm David Lazarus from the LA Times, sitting in for Patt Morrison. I'll also be joining you again tomorrow. Very glad to be here. Coming up later in this hour, we'll be looking at the latest budget forecast for California. It's not good, and, well, we're doing our best to track down the mayor as well for a little discussion of LA's finances. Not very good there either. Before we get to that, last night, Pat hosted a forum for the Democratic candidates vying to replace Hilda Solis in the 32nd Congressional District. Ms. Solis, of course, has been tapped by Obama to be the labor secretary, which puts an open seat out there. And there are a whole slate of people vying to get in there to help us get a sense of what's going on and why we care. We are joined by Raphael Sonnenschein, professor of political science at CSU Fullerton. Mr. Sonnenschein, thank you very much for joining us.
Good to be with you, David.
Okay, so most of the times a seat opens up for a congressional district and we go, oh, ho-hum. Why is this one different?
Well, now, we usually do not say ho-hum because an open-up congressional seat's a fabulous thing. There's no term limits, and people can stay till they're about 120 years old. So it's a very, very valuable thing once it opens up. But what's really creating a buzz about this one is the question of ethnicity, because you have a district which is both Latino and Asian American, and the two leading candidates are Latino and Asian American. So we're all very interested in how the ethnicity of these two rising groups is going to start playing out in California.
And in this case, this seat has been in Latino hands essentially for more than 20 years. But in that time, we have seen the Asian population, Filipinos, Vietnamese, and Chinese, growing rapidly. It seemed as if this turning point was inevitable.
Yes, that's right. Although, it's never going to be an Asian American majority. Right now, the district's about 18% Asian and about 62% Latino. So it's really not yet, there really aren't Asian districts in California. But what you're starting to see is that a very mobilized and active and experienced Asian American community has a chance here with a crossover candidate, Judy Chu, who has some appeal outside her own community to have a real chance of winning.
All right. Now, can one win this race with either the backing of the Latino community or the Asian community, or do you have to tap into both pools?
Well, Gil Cedillo could win the race principally with Latino voters, but Judy Chu's only chance to win, which is a good chance, is to have her community and perhaps a third of Hispanic voters and support from white voters. So she needs a coalition to win. He could win simply with the votes of Latino voters.
All right. Well, let's start sampling some of the voices from this thing from last night. As I say, Pat moderated the discussion. Let's hear first from Stefan Lysenko, who, well, basically he dissed a little bit on the front runners, Judy Chu and Gil Cedillo, about their many endorsements and how they're essentially running on what other people are saying. Let's hear what Mr. Lysenko had to say.
In this campaign, there's been people that talk about endorsements constantly, and it insults the people of the 32nd District. It treats them like sheep, and it doesn't allow them to think for themselves. It's saying, basically, if Mr. Baca supports a certain person or the family of Ms. Solis, you should vote for me. I speak, and I'm a voice for the people of the 32nd District, and I want to empower each and every one of them. I thank you, and I will be a voice for the people, and that's what I bring to this campaign.
Now, later on in the event, Judy Chu, in her closing remarks, was speaking about what she, too, brings to this event, and let's hear how she responded.
I ask for your support because I have a record of not just talking, but of getting things done. I am endorsed by the greatest number of local elected leaders within the district, the 3 assembly members that cover the district, Ed Hernandez, Mike Ng, and Kevin De Leon, over 75 local elected officials within the district, 7 out of the 7 police officers associations within the district, and 5 out of the 5 local Democratic clubs of the district. I'm endorsed by the LA County Federation of Labor, the California Small Business Association, the California Teachers Association, the California Nurses Association, the LA County Police Chiefs Association, the LA County Firefighters, the Sierra Club, and the California Democratic Party, and the San Gabriel Valley Tribune. But most importantly, I'm endorsed by the family of Hilda Solis, who's left an incredible legacy, and I'm honored that those who know her best would endorse me to follow in her footsteps.
Well, at least Gil Cedillo stuck to the issues, or did he? This is from his closing remarks.
What this district needs is effective leadership. I bring a record of 25 years of public service, saving jobs, creating jobs, expanding health care, making it affordable, improving the economy, taking care of our vets, and making our communities safe. This district needs effective leadership, and that's why I'm endorsed by 20 members of Congress. I'm shovel-ready. They think that I am. This district needs someone who's been able to already meet with the president and talk about immigration reform, who's already signed 3 bills in the state of California that have been then used as a national model and signed into legislation by the president today. This district needs effective leadership. It needs it now. It's not an on-the-job training circumstance. It's not something that you hope for or you wish for. It's something that you have to do. And we've done it, and we will continue to do it if we're given the honor by this district.
Well, Raphael Sonnenschein from CSU Fullerton, it sounds almost like Judy Chu and Gil Cedillo are running on their Facebook pages.
I mean, in terms of how many friends they have?
Bingo.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, let's take the first candidate. The candidate who doesn't have endorsements naturally runs on the argument that endorsements don't matter. I mean, these people are fairly rational. And the endorsements matter a great deal in a low-visibility election with a low turnout. This is not a presidential race where you have tons of information. So you learn about the candidate precisely by knowing who endorses them. So what do we know? We know that Cedillo has strong support at the state and federal level, and particularly from Latino elected officials, so he can bring the kind of Latino political movement to the table. We know that Judy Chu has much stronger support locally, and including much stronger union support and support from Latino elected officials within the local area. So you've basically got their campaigns in a nutshell by knowing the endorsements. So I'm from the point of view that endorsements are a very important window into what the candidates are telling us about their strengths.
And yet it almost seems to reduce it to a beauty pageant. I know this, and I know this, and it just seems like, you know, we're not talking about the issues. We're talking about your circle of friends.
Well, let's face it, this is a Democratic primary, and I've seen tons of Democratic primaries in California, and there are no issue differences. Essentially, these are strong Democrats, both of them with a strong pro-labor record, and there's probably not a dime's worth of difference on them on the issues, but that doesn't make it an unimportant choice. When you have that lack of issue difference, you then look at the character, experience, and future potential of both candidates. So I guess I would defend the race as it's going, which is that they're both competing to say they would do a much more effective job of leadership in Congress to get the issues that Democrats in that district pretty much agree on.
Now, obviously, when you have two frontrunners with very strong name recognition like Judy Chu and Gil Cedillo, everyone else in the pack is going to center much of their fire on tearing down the two frontrunners. And Rafael Nadal wasted no time in his remarks in stepping up and pointing out the sundry baggage that the two frontrunners are carrying. Let's hear what he had to say.
Years of experience have set me apart. You talk about effective leadership. What is effective leadership when you take $125,000 and you spend it, for example, on liquor from your office holder account? We talk about the license issue. These are legislators that have been in our state house here. And it's sad. We've taken time. We tried to get a license for non-immigrant, and we wasted a lot of time when we could have done something for an immigration reform, a more comprehensive immigration reform. What is an effective leadership? We talk about Ms. Chu. We are now in a $40 billion or there something a deficit. How can they serve any better than a carpenter? How could they add any more? I mean, these people have master's degree and bachelor's degree. I'm just simply a designer. I think I can do a lot better as a designer than I can otherwise with any one of those degrees.
That was Rafael Nadal. He was talking about Gil Cedillo. Here's how Mr. Cedillo responded to that.
We did not spend taxpayer dollar. That needs to be clear. Nor did we spend, nor did I spend. I hate to embarrass Mr. Nadal, but if people know me, they know basically that I don't drink and that I don't smoke. But I don't want the facts to interfere with his tirade. Should we have spent dollars? Yes. Should we have spent dollars on kids with cancer? Yes. Should we have spent dollars on women with cancer? Yes. Should I have spent dollars